Today, in these 3 Hoplite Battle Royales, I get carried by some of the strongest players on the server. Will my team be able to pull out the victory with me providing little to no help, or will my lack of support be our downfall? Let's find out. Alright, let's hop into Game 1. Alright, Game 1 here. Strategy for this game was to get involved in the chaos, so I rode on the dragon for as long as possible until it dropped me. Then I began preparing for PvP. There wasn't really a specific strategy I was trying to play this game, I was just trying to play it and see how it goes. This game started pretty casually, just mindful iron in the cave, took a bit of fall damage, then got absolutely screwed over by a cave spider, and I made my way back up to the surface. Once I was back at the surface, I got a horse, and then when the election started, I did not win the election, but I did get a sharpness 2 book and a power 2 book, and then I took my horse and I went to go look for the rest of my team. For a little while of riding, I finally ran into my team, and they were in the midst of a fight, so I did the logical thing to do, and I tried to help them out. Once we got far enough away and we were on a flat terrain, my teammates used their incredibly strong weapons to kill them. I only had a short sword, so I just kind of stayed back for the time being, and they actually managed to kill like 3 people in like 5 seconds. I don't even know how they did that. After the battle, we decided to chase after one of the more stacked players on the team that we just killed, and he actually managed to kill 2 of our other teammates. But then Sinza and Swift, the 2 players that actually ended up carrying me in this battle royale, they caught up to him and killed him. After we killed this player, I went to go farm apples from leaves, and then I actually got jump scared by this team that spawned out of a nether portal and jumped me. That was crazy. I was gonna die. I was on like 5 hearts or something. But luckily my teammates took care of it because they're just like so incredibly stacked. After escaping the sneak attack ambush, me and my teammates managed to regroup on the side of a mountain, and we managed to brew some speed and strength potions for a deathmatch so that we could be like insanely strong. In deathmatch, we instantly splashed the speed and strength pots, and we went to go try and control mid. We kind of run into some enemies along the way. They weren't that stacked, but they definitely held their ground for a little while. We kind of got separated a little bit, but I did manage to get a kill, and I dropped this guy with a G-head somehow. Like, I don't know what you're doing, bro. Get better, I guess. No, I'm sorry. You're already good. After I got my only 1 kill of the game, we did some more fighting, but eventually I was singled out and bowed down by this other player, and unfortunately died. But my teammates were able to carry me to the victory with their insane gear and pots, and I think you guys can see what happens next. And yeah, that's game 1. Let's move on to game 2. Alright, game 2. I immediately rushed to the middle to try and get a weapon, but after not getting one in the spawn chests, I made my way over to a nearby tree to begin punching some logs. I then crafted a wooden sword and attempted to go after another player, but after getting him to 4 HP, I got distracted with another player, and I let him get away. Afterwards, I then decided to loot a structure, but I may have taken a bit too much damage, and I was on half a heart entering the caves. But luckily, I didn't take a single bit of damage whilst I was in there, so I made it out on time with full iron armor and a gap. After I had finally relocated to the surface, I made my way over to my teammate using my tracker compass, and I eventually found him. However, I then spotted a player running away from a village, so I chased after him and eventually caught up to him, and we had a little fight, and then I killed him. Afterwards, I used his head to make an Ares Blessing, which is a mystery crate that spawns from the sky to give you random loot. I got an insta-health 3 potion, which would be great for saving health later on in the game. My teammates then separated with me for a little while, and during that time, I managed to kill a bot. I fired at him with my bow till I can drain his health, then I swooped in for the quick kill, obtaining another player head. Then I made my way over to the nearby plains biome, where I spotted 2 not-so-skilled players. One was wearing an iron helmet and leather pants, so I did the logical thing and decided to quick drop him to get another player head. But unfortunately, the other player picked it up and ran off, so I could not obtain the other head. Then afterwards, I met up with my teammates, and we began doing some enchanting before deathmatch. Once we entered deathmatch, I could see that other players stood no chance against us. Our king rode on a Ravager and absolutely decimated players' health. Then, with their sharp 3 swords, absolutely shredded players in melee. And I even managed to get a kill on a separated player when me and my teammate took a 2v1. After decimating a few more of the enemy players, it finally looked like the win was within our reach. However, none of the remaining players wanted to fight, as everyone was not as geared as us, and we would absolutely shred them if they came to melee. So we had a long bow fight to drain each other's healing, until the border was closed in right around the middle, and the enemy teams would have to make a move. As an obvious choice of a quick drop, my enemies decided to target me, because I had the weakest armor and I had the least skill. And with one G-head, I attempted to try and survive. However, I was no match for these players and was swiftly taken down. Unfortunately, I logged off before seeing the end of this game, so I don't know still to this day who won this game. Might have been our team, might have been the enemy teams, but I still don't know. And that's game 2. Let's move on to the final game, game 3. In game number 3, it was a lot different from the others. The Dragon Scatter scenario used in my first game and the Cornucopia chest start used in my second game were combined into one to make for an incredibly hilarious beginning. And I had just realized at the start that I was being teamed up with some of the most powerful players on the leaderboards. DWGE, RGB for Life, and Flo Don't Care were some of the strongest players on Hoplite, so I was pretty glad that I would have these players on my team for this game. As soon as I landed, I began punching a tree and went down into a cave. I managed to find a gapple in a chest and found 16 gold along the way in the caves. I also managed to find an amethyst geode, however I didn't have enough diamonds to craft the explosive pickaxe, so that was for another day. After obtaining all the iron that I needed, I headed up to the surface and began crafting my iron armor and some shears so that I could shear leaves to get apples for golden apples. As soon as PvP started, I made my way over to my teammate DWGE, who apparently had obby-trapped a player, and as soon as I got there, he had killed him. After I had met up with Doge, I left him for a little while because I figured he could handle himself in a 1v1. I then met up with my other teammates who, surprisingly, were not in a fight. We then spent an enormous amount of time trying to look for players to kill, but no one seemed like a good fit. Eventually, we got split up and our king, Flo Don't Care, was pushed into lava. Eventually, it was just me, Doge, and RGB for Life. Eventually, we found 2 players wielding the Midas Sword and the Dragon Katana, so we took the fight to them and managed to drop both players near a desert temple. We now wielded 2 of the strongest swords in the game, the Dragon Katana and the Midas Sword. Once we had eliminated these players, we made our way over to the spruce biome near the center of the map, where we found 2 players from the secure team that were separated from their civilization. We then swiftly took both of them down, dealing a mass amounts of damage with our weapons. We then found another team, which was the Mushroom Civilization, 2 players separated from their team. And I even managed to get a kill on a full iron player, right before deathmatch. When we entered deathmatch, we had to face some of the strongest enemies we had ever faced. Because of my limited healing and the mass amounts of damage that the enemies were dealing, I ran out of healing very quickly and would not stand a chance in a fight. And unfortunately, with the swift shot of a bow and no heals, I was swiftly eliminated by low heights, ending the 3-game series. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy. If you like this style of content, please make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe so that I know that you like this content. I'll be coming out with loads more content exactly like this video, so stay tuned. Also, expect the quality of the videos to get better because I will start using CapCut instead of Clipchamp to edit my videos. So, if you expect the video quality to get better, well, now's your chance. Goodbye, Clipchamp, and say hello to CapCut. Alright, everybody? Until next time, peace.